Hello, everybody. Welcome to GSA's Triple Bingo Tournament. This is game number 2 of this tournament, at all in general. And we got Equan versus Danger. We got both of them joining me. I also got Bry Guy here on commentary with me.
Hello, hello. Super excited for this match. Gonna be a good one. So I think we've got both the runners here. We'll get a quick pregame interview and then we'll jump right into it.
Okay. So welcome, guys. You feeling good today? You feeling like you can get this done? You got a lot of practice in there?
I feel like I can do the bingo thing.
I hope so, man.
I mean, I put a little bit of work into it lately. It's a really fun. It's kind of growing on me. I think that the routing is still taking a little bit of adjusting to and figuring out what works with what and what doesn't. But I have some relative knowledge of the game just from running AUM a bunch. So hopefully that carries me through this particular race today.
Yeah, I feel like routing is like the most foreign aspect of bingo compared to runs, so it's a big jump compared to what I usually do.
Definitely.
So yeah, hopefully we can sort of figure that out.
Right, and I'm aware of the bands that we've got going on. We talked a bit about it in the chat, but of course we got to let the audience know what's going on.
Right.
So, yes. Any of us could say it. I guess I'll go for it. So it seems that it has been agreed upon that there is going to be no first moon skip, no hint arts, for certain reasons, especially for certain reasons of today that. But there is going to be clips allowed. So
That's right.
So that'll allow for some good stuff. Possibly some good routing options in sand. There's a lot of roll cancel clips over there that you can do.
Definitely.
Mhm.
So runners, any final thoughts before we launch into the match?
Best of luck, Equan.
Yeah, you too. You gotta do the bingo thing, man.
Yeah, just don't mess it up. Don't go to the wrong
Yeah.
place.
Definitely.
That's a big
good
one,
luck
yeah.
with the bingo thing.
All right, thanks.
Sounds good. So yeah, we'll be kicking this off shortly. And yeah, this should be a good match. So we've got Equan, second place in any percent, world record contender, but seems a little less familiar with bingos than Dangers might be. Also an incredibly skilled player, took top 8 in the World Peace Tournament.
Right. I'm going to be interested if Equan decides to go to the approach that I saw Stravos had earlier today.
Right.
Or was that yesterday? I'm not sure which one
Yeah,
it was.
yesterday, but
Where he pretty much just tried to get all the goals out of the way and then do an any percent route for some kingdoms and then get back into the goals, like essentially like doing as much of an any percent route as he could while still getting goals.
exactly. Yeah, we'll see how much time they spend thinking about their routes, or if they're gonna play a bit more on the fly. Because picking the optimal columns is a huge aspect of bingo here. But
Right. There are some moments where you can take advantage of looking during cutscenes that you have, but it really can be, like, it can be tough to do it even in just those cuts.
Definitely. And so for those of you who aren't familiar with triple bingo, we've got this goal of 25, or this board of 25 goals to the right of the stream here. And the runners will have to complete three lines of 5, but they can overlap: vertical, horizontal, diagonal.
Cool.
So they'll be thinking about this as they're playing through Cap, pretty much through Madame Brood and Cascade, and then the routes might diverge a bit.
Okay, I am enjoying this board, actually. This is a very interesting board.
Yeah, we see some World Peace Metro there.
Yeah, as stated a lot, you always want to be paying attention to that center square. And here we got 4 moons from Deep Woods, being the secret area in Woods, in the Wooded Kingdom, that it doesn't get as much love as I would like it to get, and it gets a lot of love in bingo.
Absolutely.
That's why bingo can be so great. Deep Woods is such a great area for bingo. It's got, along with having so many moons in such a small spot, it's also got a lot of goals that are on the bingo board that can be done there, and be
Definitely.
there pretty much.
And we see Dangers here opting for the life up heart. So there's that 6 life up hearts goal. We'll see if he decides to go for it, but usually a good idea to just grab one while you're here if that's on the board, even if you're still thinking about it. Both players doing left side here. Very precise trick. Nicely done.
And here I am just exclusively looking at the board because I
Yeah.
didn't think that anything was going to happen. Anything outside of any percent stuff is going to happen in this first part.
Exactly.
I was wrong.
But yeah, there's either, so there could be regional coin goals in Cascade. I don't think I see them here. Or this life up part's going to be really interesting because there's one in Cascade, but you can only get it before Brood. And so you have to go around the back. And so we'll see if either runner decides with that. It's a huge time loss, but could be good if they're going for those 6 life up hearts and really don't want to go deeper into the game. So any thoughts on this board? Do you see some possible routes here?
I'm not the best at routing this, truthfully, but I do say I do know that like some of the best ideas is to go for goals that you can essentially get 2 for 1. So I'm possibly looking into getting the Jack C from 2 stands as a goal and the Jack C from 3 stands, just so you have something like that going on. Maybe like a high wooded moon count as well. Like
Definitely. Those are all pretty fast goals. The first thing I do is look for, can you avoid snow seaside? That's a big thing. If you can end in either night or day metro, that's a whole like moon dump plus cutscene plus selecting your kingdom, flying there, and all that stuff. So being able to end in metro day or earlier is always pretty good. And it looks like there are a couple options here to end in metro.
Right.
But most of them require that 30 moon sand goal, which is 14 extra moons over any percent. But there are a lot in sand, a lot of quick ones, so we'll see if the runners opt for that. But we got dino skips coming out here from both runners. Looks like they're not going to go for that life apart before Brood.
I'm also seeing some very high music note moon goal and an 8-bit section goal, and I essentially do not want to touch those at all.
Yeah, 7 is not so bad if you're going to Metro. If you're doing it before Metro, though, you're going to have to do 2 pretty slow 8-bits. And music notes, yeah, you got to go to Metro Day and basically do all of them. But yeah, I think there are some solid Metro Day finishes here, but also that 4 checkpoints in Seaside might not be so bad. If you can get everything else out of the way, just take a quick dip into Seaside, grab those checkpoints, maybe the last moon from music notes. We could uncork a fountain. Like the goals in Seaside are not that slow, so there could be some solid routes that take you there. I think the one goal that I would avoid, no question on this card, is 100 moons. Like, that's the highest moon total. That's 25 extra over an any percent trip to Seaside. That's just, you really don't want to do that.
There's no real reason for it here. There's no real way that you're going to be able to do that. I mean, the 20 moons from Wooded and the 30 moons from Sand could get you there, but it's like...
Yeah.
You were saying before,
it's a lot.
You do not want to be doing 30 moons in Sand.
Exactly. So Ekwon diverging from the any percent route here. Getting the cap. Troy also. Or, not Troy, Dangers.
I'm not playing.
Also diverging. Yeah, so you are not playing. We're not playing. I just saw the name on stream. It's so prominent there. But looks like Dangers going for the sub area here. This one has an 8-bit. Also might be working towards those 10 moons from sub areas. And Ekwon maybe looking at timer challenges. There's those 7 timers there, so he's grabbing 1. If you're doing 7, you really want to get the 2 in Cascade. 7 is a lot. You unlock some extras if you World Peace Sand or Wooded, but otherwise it's pretty tight. Danger's now entering the little area with the 8-bit here. Definitely looking to grab that. Ekwon might want one as well.
Sorry, this is a lot to keep track of. I actually do try to keep track of as much as I can, just because I don't always trust the runners too much in this stuff. I do try to continuously be like, "Are you sure you got that?"
Definitely, yeah. You always got to check.
Like, so I do
'Cause,
try to check through this stuff as much as I can. I usually do mess up, unfortunately, but I do try.
Yeah, it's a real big thing to make sure you've got them all, because a lot of goals are cross kingdom, especially on this card. Ekwon getting a second timer there, very nice. Dangers finishing out this sub area. It looks like both the runners are probably going to be on their way now, so Dangers maybe wanting 8 bits, maybe wanting sub areas. Oh, he might be going back for the other 8-bit here, yeah. But Ekwon with the lead into sand, but they do look like they're going for different sets of goals here.
Yeah, it's very important to realize that there isn't really so much of a lead in this kind of run. I mean, of course, story-wise, yes, Ekwon is the lead right now, but you gotta look. You are constantly looking at how close they are to certain goals, and because of that, you'll look for some parts that someone will be even more behind if you just purely look at the bingo board as well, but in reality they may just be like one thing away from getting a certain goal, and then one thing away from another one, and suddenly they got like a whole line just appeared out of nowhere on the board, and you're like, what happened?
Absolutely, and often that's a good strategy to make sure you're routing everything sort of together. Like, it can be pretty fast to just, whenever you enter a new kingdom, you usually have a lot of options open to you.
Right, and there's Dangers taking a Captain Toad Moon. There is a 4 Captain Toad Moons in the bottom left, so that is a possibility here.
Yeah, we saw him grab a timer. He might be looking for this other one. Looks like he is going for it, and this is a lot of moons in Cascade. It's definitely slow, but if this grants him an early finish, maybe ending in Metro rather than having to go to Seaside, this could be a really good option.
Right, it's just, these timer challenges are just so, like, right there for you, and actually pretty simple to get. You just get them. Same with the Captain Toad, it's right there for you. You barely have to do anything to get it. You just fall down from the timer challenge that you just did. It's like...
And he got the 8-bit on his way up. Yeah, so it's nice when things chain together like that, but the trick is always balancing these quick like options in kingdoms that you've already done versus having those moves like count towards your total to leave the kingdom. Because you're going to need 16 moons to leave sand, so if you can make some of those moons like the goals, that's always nice.
Ekwon pulling off a dram strat, good job.
Beautiful dram. Oh, he's going for the world peace strat here as well. Recapturing the bullet there and hitting the checkpoint. Yeah. Beautifully done. And that's going to give him the option to warp back there, which is really useful in bingo. Just trying to figure out your route through the kingdom and having some flexibility with where you can go.
Right, I was actually looking, because I remember you saying something about checkpoints, and I'm like, I'm 4 checkpoints to the Seaside. Okay, so that has nothing to do here. So here come the clips that I was saying that could happen in Sand. And Ekwon, being an any % runner, knows his fair share of clips in Sand Kingdom.
Yep,
and knows how to execute them.
Definitely telegraphs he does not want to answer those six Sphinx questions.
Well, they take a while for one thing, and I doubt he knows them.
Oh, he is talking to Sphinx.
The first one, the thing here is you essentially need notes here of some sort. Because this is in another language, so you kind of just have to have notes. The answers are always in the same locations for each question.
Thinking about it.
He does not remember.
You got it.
Luckily, so yeah, this is a case of him really trying to remember which is which. The ones obviously where the numbers are answers, it's a bit easier.
Alright, he's got it. The trick here, though, once he gets to Wooded, he really has to remember that third Sphinx question. Or, the first Sphinx question Wooded, the only one there. Because if you complete the Brutal without answering that Sphinx, it's going to disappear. So, but looks like he's going for Pyramid here. Might be one of those multi-moons. There's also an 8-bit in here. And Danger's making his way through sand, picking up some quick moons. Nothing really towards the goals right now, but working towards those 16 total that he needs to move on to the next kingdom.
Right, and people are often like confused as to what counts as a sub area or not, and this is not one of them. Just by the way, this sub areas are essentially places where you can come back to it later in the story, and then Cappy will say that I think we missed something here if you only got one of the moons. There's nothing left to do here if you got all the moons in there. Or there also could be some purples left in there, and he'll still say that there's something left to do in here.
Yeah, and they usually involve some sort of pipe or entrance or door from the main world into a sort of a more contained platforming level. They tend to have 2 moons in them, but there are 1 or 2 exceptions.
Yes.
Dangers. Was just missing the platform there.
That was
Taking
a
a
pretty
little
smooth
damage.
skip using the damage boost, and then now just getting impatient. So
Mhm.
gonna do the skip again, but the platforms are going away from each
no.
other, and now it's stuck. Oh, like this is a disaster happening right now.
He lost his
Okay,
life apart
Equan
there
getting
too.
Equan gets a life apart.
Yeah. Just transferred it from one player to the other.
Yep.
Exactly. The issue with losing your life apart is that if you pick up another one, you're gonna have to watch that animation again. Just a minor couple seconds, but we'll see if Dangers even wants them. We didn't see Equan do the slots room. That's another place where you can get a quick life apart in sand. But Equan grabbing this multi-moon from the Brutal here. You really only get 4 multi-moons if you're doing any percent, so if you're going for the 6, you definitely want to pick up like the Brutal here and then probably one other multi-moon outside of the normal ones. Dangers looking like he's taking a pretty traditional route through this. We'll see if he stops by any of the other sub areas over here. Maybe wants to dip into Pyramid for an 8-bit. He's already got 3 of those. They're coming back towards Sphinx.
Yep, looks like he's gonna go answer some questions.
Mm-hmm.
Dangers, I would not be surprised if he knows these. Having that AUM knowledge, all unique moons.
Exactly. Also, great spot to
So-
pick up some coins in the Sphinx room. Could be useful for purchasing moons later. You don't necessarily know which ones you want. We haven't seen the runners go for the Jaxi from 2 or 3 sands yet. You were talking about those earlier. Yeah, those are some quick goals, but might not be along their route.
I find it kind of odd that it wouldn't be, because you know Jaxi skip is such an easy thing to do that you would just do it.
Yeah. Equan's here in Night Sand, though, so Jaxi is right here in town if he wants it. Looks like he's grabbing some regionals. And gonna stop in the slots for a life apart and maybe the moon. But Dangers only needs 3 more moons, then he's off to the next one. So we see that moon count evening up, but Equan, they're clearly going for different roads here. Different set of 3, so we'll see how that affects the match. There is that purchase 4 moons goal. The stop and Sphinx from Dangers might be working towards that.
Oh, and Equan messing up the slots. Was trying to go for that life apart, but it actually did mess up there.
Yeah, life apart timing is a little awkward. You're just not used to it. You never really do this in any other category. But Equan already keeping his life apart from before just gets to pick up that other one for free, no animation. Dangers opted in for the sub area, so he's already got 16. This is looking like he might be wanting that 30, or possibly going for 100 moons total. Because he could be on his way from sand now if he
I
wanted.
mean, that'd be interesting. And from what I can tell, we haven't done many sub areas yet.
Yeah, I don't think 30 in sand is that bad either. It's a little more than 90%, or it's like an extra 14, which is a lot, but sand's got some fast moons, and it's part of some really good roads. Like Call 5 and maybe TLVR, yeah. I mean, they're not great, but if you're trying to get a finish before Seaside, those are going to be 2 of your only options.
Right, and there.
Ooh, a spill from
Ooh,
Dangers there.
That actually may make Dangers think to warp out of here? And no, okay.
No, he really
I
wants
thought
that
maybe
moon.
just for timing basis that you would just want to warp out here, considering the moon, the other moon in this area is all the way at the end, and it's kind of a long run to it at this point.
Yeah, so Ekwon going for world peace here. So that's gonna get him all the multi-moons he needs for that 6 multi-moons if he just does any percent from here on out. And also gonna get very close to that 30 moon stand, so it's looking like he wants that diagonal. He was looking for Jaxi up at the ruins, but Jaxi is over in the village.
Oh, and Ekwon not having the, I guess not having the best world peace experience, although that World Peace tournament has been happening on the
No.
at the same
Not
time.
high enough on that icicle there. We'll see if he decides to take it a little safer this time. But Dangers has Jaxi heading over towards the other sub areas.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty difficult jump, also because you have to go underneath those like hat projectile thingies.
Those will just suck your hat in.
Yeah, if you're not below those things, they'll just steal Cappy from you.
Ekwon with the great capture there.
Nicely done there.
See if he picks up these coins. No, just going past him. Doesn't look like he wants to purchase
I don't
any.
need coins. Okay. Dangers at 6 sub-area moons now.
Yeah. The only one he might be working towards is that 10 sub areas. And Sand, a pretty good place to get them. They're quick, available from the start. Really looks like he wants these 30 total. Maybe at 22 after this one. Just needs to find 8 more relatively fast moons.
Right. And there's 2 more. And 2 more sub-areas.
So 18 minutes in, and no runner has marked a goal yet. This is a slow to start, but they're making really good progress. I think after this, they'll be flying through the rest of the kingdoms.
Right, I wouldn't be surprised if, I'm trying to think here actually of another sub-area they can get here in Sand. Is there another one?
After World Peace, Ekwon could opt for the rocket ship, but...
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, there is nothing. Dangers won't be getting the sub-areas leaving this kingdom. But he will be very close to it. He will be at 8.
Yeah, and there's a fast one along the way, and Wooded, and Lake has some pretty quick ones too, so... If he goes all the way to Metro, there's sub-areas everywhere around there.
And it's very interesting, despite picking up Jaxi at 2 separate spots, you did not call Jaxi from those 2 stands, so that does not count. You just kind of were there. And
Yeah.
we got a IP clip here.
On 1.2, making this clip a lot more difficult. So you might have seen Ekwon have a pretty easy time with this, running on an earlier version of the game where clips were a lot easier. But Dangers gets it, not too bad.
Yeah, that was actually because of how much harder it is on 1.2. Getting it on that many tries is actually okay.
Yeah, that's very, very good. He'll be picking up maybe a multi-moon, some 8-bit moons here. Just some other quick moons in the pyramid. And Ekwon finishing out World Peace. Netting him another multi-moon. We'll see what he decides to do after this. He still hasn't gotten Jaxi, and if he's going for that diagonal, he's going to want to call Jaxi from 3 stands.
Yeah, I'm almost like 100% sure that I've definitely missed something that I'm trying to keep track of on here, but I will still go. I will still do this.
Definitely, yeah. There's a lot going on. Each runner probably also writing down everything they're doing.
Yes, but they're doing it just for one person.
Exactly.
themselves.
Exactly. And you're also trying to commentate on top of it. So,
Hey, I try.
it's a whole challenge.
I enjoy doing it. Bingo is such an interesting. It's such an interesting category.
Absolutely.
It is something that like really takes like a lot of knowledge of the game. And oh, I do have music notes on. Why did I think I didn't have a music notes tally marker?
So Ekwon with more progress in the kingdom. He's already done world peace, but fewer moons, and you can just see how long that world peace takes. But it opens up a lot of stuff, so the rest of his moons will be really quick here. Dangers in the final boss fight of Inverted Pyramid, and Ekwon finally finding Jaxi. I think we're going to see him called from a few stands here, so if you just ride him, you got to ride him away a little bit, and then
Yeah,
you can call him from the sand.
That sign is not interactable because Jaxi's already there, dude.
Yeah, but if you just move him like 2 or 3 feet away, just a couple steps, then you can call him back.
It's the same story with any of the stands.
Yeah. Ekwon purchasing a moon here. That one probably just for his 30 total in sand. But we'll see. Picking up a hat and a sticker.
Yep, picking up a sticker. We got a 5 sticker goal in row 3, column 1. So,
does the hat work towards anything here? I'm not entirely sure why he bought that, but we'll see if that comes back later.
Did he buy it?
Oh, maybe he just clicked on it and then didn't buy it.
Yeah, I don't think he bought a hat.
Yeah. Ekwon getting the bird here. This one's only available post-piece and this timer challenge. So this is a really good knowledge here, knowing that 2 new timer challenges spawn in sand after you get world peace. So not only is this working towards this 30 total, but also getting those 7 timers. It's a very smart idea.
Right, and something that also happens after getting world peace is a Captain Toad moon appears in this world.
Right.
And Dangers is now getting 1 call from a stand. And
Ekwon.
now...
Excellent planning from
Yep,
Dangers
there's
as
2.
well. Gonna grab this Notes moon right here, grab the birds on the mound, and then he'll be ready to head out of this kingdom. Ekwon picking up some sub areas.
And this right here is like why it can be so impressive. Like, they have literally figured out this route essentially on the spot. Like this,
Yeah.
and so to have it so that they realize that, oh, I can finish it out by going from one Jaxi stand to another, and then be at perfectly 30 moons because I'm gonna get 2 moons at the Oasis. Like, what?
Yeah, it's incredibly impressive because there's no other category where you're getting exactly 30 moons and you want some timers and some notes and sub areas. And not only are they trying to figure out their sand route, but they're trying to put together their overall route, like which kingdoms they're going to get the timers in, which kingdoms they're going to get the sub areas. Putting those 2 together is really
Right, and here's another timer challenge coming on from Ekwon.
right.
At total 4, from what I can tell.
Yeah, and there actually is 1 more available. I was mistaken earlier. There are 3 timer challenges in sand after World Peace, and one of those has a key in it as well.
Yep, just waiting for their hat to come back from that scarecrow.
Back up to the top of the pyramid here. And Danger's back in cap. Not too much here. Might be wanting a sticker. Might be wanting just those 10 regionals.
Yeah, that's what it
Captain
looks like.
Toad. Yeah. Got a couple options.
I mean, the Captain Toad's really easy to get to. I mean, actually, it's kind of hard to go for. Unless, like, yeah, it's going to be difficult to get there right now.
Yeah.
Because you don't
Purchasing a
even
moon
get
in
the
this kingdom.
checkpoint typically, right?
Yeah, it depends. I think it's always a good plan in bingo. You always grab that checkpoint just in case you ever want to go back for a sub area or Captain Toad, because you really don't have your route found out at that point.
Okay, yeah, there
And
it is.
see, yeah, Danger's
Did get
grabbed it
that
earlier.
checkpoint. Okay.
So we're gonna be grabbing Captain Toad. Possibly the sub area here.
Nope, just
going past
opening
it.
the hat door.
And so we'll see if Equan decides to go Lake or Wooded. Just picking Lake. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much on this card, but sometimes that decision is very crucial if you want to use the warp paintings to your advantage, because the warp painting will depend upon which kingdom you pick first. The first one you pick will always go back to sand, and the metro painting will always point towards the first one you pick as well.
Right, and I believe that Dangers has purchased 2 stickers so far. I just keep saying things as a question, just to clarify to make sure that I am keeping track of things correctly. But here we are in Lake Kingdom as Equan is now gathering some purples. And doing a kind of interesting route, going straight for Rango it appears.
Yeah, so a lot opens up in Lake after Rango. You got the 2 timing challenges. Hint art appears, the seed appears. Don't think he wants either of those, but yeah, quite a few more options. There's also a lot of music notes in Lake. There's an 8-bit
What do you say
sub
music?
areas.
Because look where Dangers is heading.
Yeah, picking up another notes here. So this will be his 3rd, and he'll probably grab his 4th here as well. And last one is waiting for him either in Metro or Seaside.
Yeah, this kingdom actually has a pretty unique thing here. It's got a music note that is also an 8-bit goal at
Yeah.
the same time, so it's a good one to know of.
Metro Kingdom also having one of those, and I imagine we'll see that later out of Dangers. It looks like he's been wanting both of those goals.
Alright, it does appear as in the 8-bit art.
Yeah,
so
the Metro one, I think we'll be seeing it, but it's very interesting. It's got like half
I didn't
8-bit,
realize.
half outside.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it counted as an 8-bit, but then I realized, yeah, the moon itself does end up spawning in the wall.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's an 8-bit moon.
We got a timer challenge coming out from Equan.
Stuff going.
Yeah. So they both might still be going for multi-moons. It looks like Dangers probably wants it, going for that diagonal, but we'll see if he opts to do Rango. And Equan going up to the shop here, most likely. Ooh, slips off the top there. Dangers purchasing another moon. Equan could be going for the life up part here. There is one up on top of the structure that they're in.
I'm not even aware of where all the life parts were, because I think the last time we did a bingo tournament, this was not a goal anywhere.
Yeah, that's probably worth talking about. There's been a few changes. Before, there were the snow and seaside goals were a lot more punishing. There was like 10 moons in seaside, which no one really ever went for. And a few coin goals that got removed, but a bunch of stuff got added. Like different sub areas have been, or different like puzzle rooms, and especially these life up parts, story moons. A few different options that are interesting to route across all the kingdoms. Dangers with the Captain Toad there, and Equan grabbing his life heart, gonna warp back up to Rango for this timer challenge. And we see both players making use of checkpoints they grabbed earlier here. As we were saying earlier, they're very crucial in bingo for helping you get your route together. Dangers going up to Rango. These will be his last 3 moons in Lake. Oh, Equan going for a very tricky jump here. Nails it. Very nice. Clean fight from Dangers. Not too terribly tricky, but nonetheless, very good job. And Equan heading to the 8-bit here. Oh, cannot get up on that wall. Takes a bonk.
God, I got confused here. I remember, yeah, Dangers already did it.
Yeah, it's tricky when they're
like-
both going the same thing. Oh, missing a note. Can he save this? I don't know.
No, there's no way.
No. Gonna have to go all the way out of the sub area and back in again. That's a huge time loss.
Yeah.
Dangers wants more than just the Rango fight. Looking for the timers, possibly going for this 100 moons total, because he's got enough to move on to the next kingdom.
This timer can be kind of annoying. Luckily, Dory's in an okay spot right now. Dory can occasionally get in the way of this. You want to ground pound all the way to the bottom, and suddenly Dory's swimming in your way, and I'm like, dude, I know you're having a fun time swimming. Like, you are such a happy creature, but I need you to move.
Exactly. Yeah, that timer can be tough, and then your hat takes forever to get back to you because you're underwater. We'll see if Dangers opts for this jump as well. No, just warping out of there. Looks like he's content with his 10 moons, gonna move on. Both players leaving Lake around the same time. But again, going for different goals, so it's not clear that which one's in the lead. So
Okay, and yeah, something to note here. We do have Ekwan, who had marked 3 Jaxi stands, but not 2 Jaxi stands.
right.
And that is generally, yes, of course, Ekwan still got that goal. You are not going crazy. It just happens to be how a lot of runners do this, is that you don't mark goals that you're not going for, even if you happen to get them. And we are going straight into deep woods.
Yes, straight
Yay.
down.
So essentially, why mark that top right corner if you're not even gonna get anything related to that square?
Exactly.
It can distract you for one. It technically takes a bit more time to mark it on the board, and so it ultimately just becomes a thing where in most cases it just isn't worth it.
Mm-hmm. Danger's purchasing his 4th moon there. And Ekwan probably going for these 4 moons in deep woods. Trying to manipulate this dino here. It's always nice if you can get the dino to bonk on this cliff. And you just pick him up right after that. And one of the interesting things about deep woods is it has sort of 3, maybe 4 entrances and exits. So, but depending on where he decides to leave and where you enter, you end up in different spots. So we'll see if Ekwan takes advantage of that, or if he just wants to go back to the Odyssey.
I can't tell if Dangers was trying to set up for a nut clip there, but either way, it didn't work out.
Mm-hmm. Nutclip could be very useful here. The 8-bit moon is still around even before you kill the Brutal.
Actually, not thinking about it. Is Nutclip available in 1.2?
Oh, I do not know.
Okay. Because Dangers is in 1.2, so I may have,
That is true.
that's just a knowledge gap here of me just...
Yep. I ran on an earlier version.
Ekwan getting the timer in deep woods.
Yep. Also grabbing those 4 moons. Danger's making his way through wooded.
Yes, and the reason why we don't go to wooded a lot of times is there's no real way to warp out of here. You kind of have to take these beanstalks.
Yeah. Exit can definitely be pretty slow from deep woods. Great place to finish your bingos if you can, though. But that's a very early finish. Only a few cards will let you do that. And Ekwan, remembering to do the Sphinx. If you don't do this before Brutal, the Sphinx is not here, and you gotta go all the way to Seaside before you see another one.
Yep, that was a very important Sphinx, because that is this... Nope, it's the 5th question.
That should be
sure
6. Yeah, I think he's just waiting on clicking it. So he's still taking care of some movement, but we'll see.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when you mark it. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
There's the marking.
Danger's taking a pretty standard any percent route here. might not need too much from Wooded. I just grab the Brutal's multi-moon.
Looks like Ekwan also going for that moon clip, nut clip, and it looks like he has it here.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's got it. It's a very difficult, precise trick. Ooh.
Come on.
Oh,
no! That is not fun. Okay, do
Falling
not
all
fall
the
back
way
into
down.
the deep woods. Okay, good. You're there. You can tell because the coins fell out of him.
Yeah. Ekwan, extremely experienced 90%, knows how to avoid it. We'll see if he goes for the backup with the rock, or if he's just gonna do some other moves instead.
Although that nut, I actually think, because you did die, it's still there. Like, you could open it up again.
That's
But
true.
it wouldn't matter, because the animation wouldn't happen.
Yeah,
The nut
looks like
would
he's going
exist.
for the rock. Making it up there, very nice. You gotta grab this moon very low, otherwise you get stuck in that little cavern. But he's
Yeah, you gotta
looking
do it
good.
in a way that the way you do your moon get animation, you're still inside the floor when you finish that animation.
Yeah.
So you remain out of bounds, which you need, so that you can get in bounds in a proper place where you won't get stuck and have to pour it out.
Exactly. So Ekwan just wanting that one nut up there. Not looking for the 8-bit yet.
And now that we're in
DDangers.
Wooded, we got a fair amount of goals going on.
Yeah, this board's getting pretty colorful. We do see some different routes here. Looks like Ekwan maybe wants row 3, and Danger looking at column 5. But we're still yet to see a third row from either of these players.
Right. It does appear that both of them are going for top left, bottom right diagonal.
Mm-hmm.
And Ekwan getting that buffered triple jump there. I say buffered as to avoid the poison, because that's essentially what you gotta do.
Yeah. Danger's capturing a tank. Looking like he might want more than the standard number of moons to get out of here. Because he has 16 already, but he's still up in an area where there's a ton of moons. Might be looking for that 100 total, might be going for another multi-moon with the world peace. There's the 20 moons wooded goal.
There's a sub area that you can go for.
Yeah, this will be his 10th sub area if he wants to grab that.
Gotta make sure to get that moon over there. And there it is.
Ekwan falling down. That's a tough death, gonna cost a few seconds. Could be worse though, you do respawn pretty close by. Gonna get this jump across the gap again.
And yep, that is number 10 for the sub areas for Dangers.
Mm-hmm. Knows to abandon his tank here. Go just grab one of these other ones closer to the exit. Ekwan now in the tower. See if he wants any moons here. Looks like he may also be looking for those 20 totals. Oh, getting the life up heart. So I believe that's number 4 for him. And also might opt to get the one in cap when he goes back there, because he still has not done his cap revisit. Danger's looking to go for the 8-bit. Also going to be his 20th moon from Wooded.
A lot of people forget that this moon exists.
Yeah. A little bit hidden.
Oh, and just barely missing the cycle on those platforms.
Mm-hmm. We got Ekwan going to another sub area here. 2 more quick moons and we'll see what he does after that. But Danger is wanting those 20 from Wooded. Could be a column 3, could be a row 4. Looking like Danger's not, there doesn't want the diagonal. Could be a row 4, row 5. Column 5. That all synergizes very nicely with Seaside. It's got a quick Captain Toad. Got those music notes. Timer.
Does require Seaside, but it's got Seaside synergy going on there.
Right, and they're fast Seaside goals, and that really means that he's free to just do any percent, maybe with an 8-bit thrown in here and there.
Yeah, you're required to get 1 moon in Seaside.
Yeah, so it's just a quick trip. It does mean you have to get all 20 in Metro, though. Whereas if you were ending in Metro, you might be able to get away with fewer than that. But looking like a very strong route. Lots of synergy going on. Generally pretty quick goals.
Whereas we don't really have any sort of idea of what F1's third line could be.
Yeah.
Oh,
also taking the 20 minutes. What is?
I forgot about that one.
Could also be a row 5. Looking at
it could be
TLBR row 3, row 5. It's got some solid synergy. Also stop in Seaside, but also just for 1. Could be opting for column 3.
Column 3 seemed pretty good as well. I mean, I'm trying to think actually.
He has been doing 8 bits.
That is another
case. He's got the one loaded here.
And that would be another case of like being able to really not even care about moons after Metro.
So looking at the hint art, that does clue us into column 3.
Yes.
Picking up a sticker.
By the way, Dangers is currently just doing the Bowser boss fight in the Cloud Kingdom. It is the same fight.
Yep. Doing these early cap grabs.
Ekwan getting another sticker.
Looks like he's on his way. So it looks like he needs to do a sand and a cap revisit to pick up those 10 regionals, pick up that hint art. Because while he looked at the hint art, he still has to go get the moon. We'll see where he decides to grab these other life up hearts. Still got a few more timers to think about, but definitely making good progress towards all of his goals, and might not need too much more outside of any percent. Dangers entering Lost now, a very scary kingdom. A lot can go wrong here, especially when you're trying to improvise movement. Mistakes often end up in a death. So
they can also often end up in you accidentally triggering Klepto because you don't fully know the mechanics of Klepto, and it becomes a giant nuisance.
Even worse than a death.
I'm expecting. Okay, no, not happening. This is so interesting right now.
Doesn't even want the butterfly.
Doesn't want the butterfly. I know you're going for the 8-bit. I feel.
Oh, he's gonna die here. Okay.
No, he's not.
Close.
No, he's fine.
Okay, he's third.
That is really dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living up to his name.
Yes, very true.
Klepto's hitbox extends really far, and it won't grab you right away. It won't grab you until you land. But now that he's touched like Klepto's platform, then he's fine. It won't.
But if he dies, it'll reset.
Exactly. Picking up checkpoint here. Looks like he wants Captain Toad. And also grabbing these 15 regionals.
That's not the easiest Captain Toad to get.
No.
And didn't even get it the quickest way. You can actually just dive into that hole instead of having to grab the cliff there.
Yeah, very scary though. If you bonk, you're ending up in the goop. Dangers, remembering to trigger Klepto again. You need to figure out one more moon outside of the any percent ones. You normally have 5 at this point. So you skip the butterfly and skip one of the pillars.
I'm trying to remember Captain Toads because I only count 3.
4 Captain Toads. He's got Cap, Cascade,
and now Lost.
Did he do Lake? That's a good question.
Where is the one in Lake?
It's Cheap underwater.
No, that's sand.
If you like swim down the tunnel in the palace area.
Oh,
so he may have gotten that without us noticing.
No, I don't remember that. No, I would have. which would leave wooded, and I don't remember him going
No,
that.
you need to
making
world
that
peace
jump.
with it before you get there.
No, you can make that jump.
You can make the jump, but Toad isn't there until world
Oh.
peace. Yeah.
Oh. Whatever, we'll figure it out eventually.
Well, yeah. You might grab one in Metro or Seaside. We'll see. Equan grabbing a few moons here. Out of order. Not quite your standard 90%.
Yes, doing something
Look
that
at
I
an 8-bit.
expected Dangers to do. This is a very easy 8-bit moon to get, and you can do a death warp here. You intentionally die getting this 8-bit moon, which actually
Yeah.
isn't happening here right now.
Definitely a quick one. Might have
Yep.
just been an oversight from Dangers. Very
Yes,
easy
you
to forget.
intentionally die, and then you respawn at the checkpoint up top that you got, and you can go in the shop to buy a sticker.
Finding the sticker. There we go. And Dangers entering Night Metro. Another somewhat scary section of the game. But from this point on, he's sort of just powering through. There's not too much left for Dangers to get.
Right, and it is actually looking like, and I'm still seeing that it needs 2 more music notes.
Couple more 8-bits.
Yeah, a couple more 8-bits. Where else we got things? We gotta go to Seaside, of course.
Yep. Be grabbing a fast music note there, possibly an 8-bit or 2. Equan heading out of loss. On his way to Night Metro. Pretty clean loss from both players. Didn't see any unintentional deaths.
Okay, and fighting Mecha Wiggler, we're gonna see both of our players being fighting Mecha Wiggler and beating Metro. Getting all 20 moons that they need to get. But I don't really see anything. I mean, well, Dangers has reasons to do stuff that isn't the 80% route, but I don't see really any reason for Equan other than, yeah, there's Captain Toes that can still, oh no, thinking wrong lines.
Yeah, you may want the 8-bit.
8-bit, the timer challenge.
Yeah,
Maybe get a life apart from Lotto.
Oh, taking a bonk, falling all the way down. That's going to be pretty costly. Dangers looking at Wiggler here. Oh, this is going to be close. He's going to need some real sharpshooting here. Unfortunately, taking a 3 cycle. Giving Equan a little more room. Equan skipping the moon there for now. Come back later. Looks like he will be taking more of a standard any percent route. Oh, the Wiggler's just blocking Dangerous shots here, left and right. There we go.
Okay, I guess Equan was waiting for cycles there? What was going
Yeah.
on there? I don't
Took a
know
quick
why he was
pause.
waiting.
Ooh, attempts an interesting backup, trying to get these coins. Nicely done.
Yep, that fall was totally intentional. Yeah, that one too. I swear.
Yeah, that one's gonna hurt. City Hall, very dangerous place. Lots of tight corners, enemies everywhere. Bottomless pit at the bottom.
Wait, what? How can you have a bottomless pit at the bottom?
That's true. That's true.
There's no bottom, so it can't be at the bottom.
Fair point. Echo, I'm going to be hopping across City Hall here. Danger's going for scoot clip.
Gotta reset it up now.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
There we go. Very quick moon, but couldn't be punishing to mess up. Gonna stop by bench friends. Yeah, looks like he's cutting out the garbage moon. Possibly in favor of slots here.
Could be slots, could be the 8-bit and timer challenge that's going on.
True,
Sorry,
yeah.
8-bit and music note that you were referring to before. Oh, the rolling and the crowd thing that we do. That is a timer, technically.
Yeah, that is true.
So that works. There's that music note. One.
Yeah, we'll see if he knows the strat.
And yep, that is.
Pick one. Going for Wiggler.
That is 7, 8 bits. And music notes. Yeah, that's fine. Got the 2 in sand. Got the
2 in Cascade.
2 in Cascade. And
1 here. Would be the... Oh, you're talking about the music notes. Yeah, 2 in Lake and then 1 here.
Yeah. Oh, music notes, yeah. Really talking about music notes, because I had the 8-bit section. The 8-bit section was right, but I have
Okay.
3 notes total. So, but we got 4.
Danger's picking up a musician here.
That one I do not question. That one
Yes.
is right. The Captain Toads is still like, I don't know where you got a 4th one.
Yeah, he might have done Lake. Looks like... Oh, okay. Echo getting the capture here. Both players in Day Metro. Danger's looking closer to finishing, but Ekwon not too far behind. Going for scoop clip here. Having some trouble, but he gets it.
I mean, he still has to backtrack right now.
Yeah.
Has to backtrack to Cat Kingdom and Cascade for the hint art.
It's true. Though his visit to Snow is a lot quicker than Danger's visit to the Seaside. Because all he's got to do is grab 10 regional coins, doesn't even have to go down to the, like, I don't know what to call it, the village area. But, yeah, you can grab them all outside and just be on his way. Danger is going to have to uncork a fountain, grab a bunch of checkpoints. But that also doesn't take too long.
Danger's opting to not try to call the shot there for the Cafe Moon.
Yeah, taking it safe.
And here's a timer challenge.
Also smart to end with his 20th moon in the sub area, lets you warp out of here without taking the loading zone. Yeah, and Danger's heading to Seaside. Gonna pick up his last few goals here. Still needs another timer challenge by the looks of it. So we're gonna need 2 moons out of Seaside.
Actually counting. I think he needs 2 more timer challenges from what I can tell.
Needs 2 more.
I think so.
Yeah, that might be
I have 5 marked down. I also have that. From what I remember, I actually had that Equan is done with timer challenges. I'm probably wrong.
Very hard to keep track of, as we said.
Yes.
A lot going on in Odyssey triple bingos. But Equan getting the notes moon here, the double notes 8-bit. Smartly picking up the outside notes before the 8-bit notes.
Yes, knowing where the moon is gonna spawn. Yeah, stay inside the wall.
And Dangers in Seaside.
Jump right over it.
Go for some checkpoints here. We'll see which fountain he opts to go for, and the timer is in this direction if he wants it.
Oh yeah, going for the giant underwater area.
Yeah. Sub area that's pretty easy to forget.
And you can do that one, but this is also a timer challenge, technically.
Yes. Even though it's not one of the scarecrows with your hats.
Yes. It involves you beating a clock.
Yes. The game has its own
Timer
categorization for them, because like the 8-bit moons also have, or sorry, the music note moons have that timer ticking sound, but they're not timer challenges. So.
And by the fact that Dangers hasn't marked off some timer
Yeah.
challenges, I am starting to think I was right.
So that looks like he's going to need another one here. We'll see if he opts to go back somewhere. He could have gotten the one in Cap when he was there. Might have realized that now and might be heading back there. Grabbing this fountain here, and then he's going to need a few more checkpoints. Smart to go for this one up on the lighthouse, because that one's got a checkpoint nearby.
Nice checkpoint. Yeah, this is looking like a pretty solid win for Dangers at this point.
Yeah, assuming he's got all his Captain Toad moons.
There is another timer challenge you can go for. The one I was saying before, the Scarecrow.
Mm-hmm.
That you go down really far underwater. Along with getting moon shards. It's a moon shard, right? You get moon shards down there?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Generally a slow timer challenge and all the way in Seaside, so most runners don't go for it. But
It looks like he's heading towards it right now,
yeah,
though.
might be his only option at this point.
Or just head back to the
Option
Odyssey. Is
to
that
go
what-
back to the Odyssey, yeah.
Yeah, going back to the Odyssey.
Honestly, might be just as fast. And we see Danger's moon
Yeah, it's
count
hard
there.
to say.
He's got over 100 moons. Could have gone for that 100 total goal.
Didn't though. Doesn't matter.
Yep. So we'll see where he goes back to. Yeah, deciding to go for the one in Cap. Pretty quick timer, probably comparable to just staying in Seaside and doing the other timer challenge. And this one's definitely a lot safer. And Equan entering the snow, not too far behind, just needs to grab a few regionals and then head back to Sand for the hint art and Cap for the regional coins. But that's a lot of flying cutscenes in between.
And there it is, already marking it.
Yep, 7 timers for Dangers, and that is the game. The race is closer than it looks, I'd say, because Equan really just needs one more moon for the 8-bit, I believe, and can pick up the rest of his goals pretty quickly. Possibly needs another timer challenge there as well.
Okay. Checking with Dangers, and apparently, yeah, he did go down that giant hole. and I trust him on that because you kind of remember doing that. Like, that is a long journey to get that
Definitely.
that toad.
I'm sure Equan was doing something very interesting at that moment. But yeah, looks like he's going into one of the sub areas here. To just finish up his regionals.
That is 10 regionals. But still looking to...
Yeah, he needs a hint.
Yeah, still needs to backtrack. Gotta go back to Cap and Cascade. And probably finish out the 8-bit sections as well.
Yeah, I think his hint art's in sand. He checked the wooded one, so he'll have to stop back there too. Maybe thinking about where to go for a timer. He's still got one left in sand that I don't think he did.
Okay, I don't have to backtrack to Cascade then. I'm stupid.
Yeah, but still needs the.
I forgot where the hint art went.
Right. Well, yeah, it's he could have done either. Doing the lake hint art would have been a good option as well.
Right.
I think generally a faster one. But he also
I didn't realize that he got the one in wooded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's what mixed me up. I thought he actually did get the one in lake.
Yeah. Yeah, the wooded one a little easier to look at, maybe sort of more on your way, but leads to a further moon.
Yeah, this moon's kind of far.
Yeah, looks like he's going for the timer challenge on the way. Oh, or maybe no, just taking away around the back. Danger's taking a nice, well-deserved nap after that bingo. Almost sub 1 hour. Fairly respectable time. Equan enlisting the help of Jaxie to get out there just a little bit faster. There's one move from hint arts. It just needs 8-bit timer cap regionals.
Yeah. I'm done keeping track of things. Like there's no reason to keep going. So I'm just watching.
Yeah, he's super close now. Heading over to this timer challenge. Curious which 8-bit he's gonna decide to go for. And this is another one of those ones that counts as a timer, but doesn't quite have the hat scarecrow thing that we're used to. Also sometimes a useful moon from keys, one of the new goals in this bingo. That looks like he's done in sand. Let's see where he goes for the 8-bit. So I think he's gotten 2 in sand, 2 in Cascade. Did he do Lake and Wooded and Metro? So I guess he hasn't done one of those. Probably Wooded.
What, timer challenges or 8-bits?
8-bits. Oh, maybe he hasn't done the sub area in Cascade. So I think he's heading back there for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danger's opted to do that on his first pass. Equan maybe still thinking about his route, maybe not too sure what to go for. The early stages of a bingo match are very stressful while you're trying to figure out what to do and where to get everything. Easy to think that you can pick it up later and just end up not quite having enough moons. Gonna be quickly making his way over here, and then one more quick stop and cap for those regionals. After that, we'll have the runners in here. Quick post-game interview. Equan going for a strat here to skip the first part of the sub area. Need to do some good vectoring here. It's a very difficult jump.
For a second, I was like, damn, we are going to see something impressive. No, I'm kidding, it's fine.
Well, Equan giving it another chance. There we go, very nice. Grabbing the moon, marking timer challenges and 8-bit. So it looks like you're right that he did have those timers done earlier, just forgot to mark them.
Perhaps I reminded him of the fact that he can't hear me.
Indeed.
But perhaps I reminded him.
Perhaps. Just telepathy. And last stop, Cap Kingdom. 10 quick regionals. Still putting up a sub 110 time. So we see some clear routing differences between the runners here. What do you think cost the most time? What was the difference in these routes?
I think the amount of backtracking that Ekwon ended up having to do was a huge factor.
Yeah, the hint art and just the slight oversights on the sub areas, which definitely happen. It's a very difficult to make sure you're getting everything on your first pass. Then also the multi-moons taking a bunch of extra time, Ekwon having to do all of World Peace and Sand, but it also gave him some better options for timers that Dangers didn't have, which could have ended up saving some time overall. Hard to say. Ekwon gonna pick up these last few regional coins here. He's got 4 here. If he captures this Paragoomba, 4 more on the way. Closing it out with whole mid 107.
Yep, that is time
Very nicely
for
done.
Ekwon.
So we'll get both the runners in here, see what their thoughts are on the race. But in the meantime, so I guess we did see Seaside finish. And welcome Dangers, congratulations on the win.
Hola, thank you.
How did you feel about that race?
I had the route picked out pretty early. I kind of figured that maybe doing a couple of kingdoms where there was very minimal stuff going on, that was probably going to be the best way to go. I saw a lot of seaside things on here that were really easy, so I thought maybe just like zip all the way to the end. I think the only thing that really tripped me up is that I overestimated, or rather underestimated, how many timer challenges there actually were pre-piece in a lot of these kingdoms. So it wasn't until the end where I was like, shoot, I might be missing some.
Right.
But I did manage to remember a couple, like the one in Seaside, just as I was getting there, and I figured that one was going to be a pre-piece one, so I just nabbed that one. And it would have been, of course, smarter to grab the cap one while I was there the first time. But you know, all in all, almost sub hour. My timer says 104, so pretty darn good, I'd say.
Yeah, very, very impressive route and execution there. Have you looked at the card more, like thought about what you change, if you could change any one of your rows?
Maybe if I was more comfortable with a couple of the ones that I skipped on, like for example 6 unique life up parts, I probably could have routed that in somehow, maybe with the 100 moons doing column 2 instead of one of the other ones. That might have been slightly better for me. It's just I was uncomfortable with the 6 unique life up parts and not knowing where they all were, so that's kind of why I inched away from that one. But of course it would have been really nice to have 2 Jaxi stand ones, and I ended up getting over 100 moons anyway, so that would have been a good column to go with.
Definitely, yeah. Life of Hearts being one of the new additions to Bingo, and really not seen in any other category at all. It's very Bingo exclusive knowledge there.
Indeed, yeah. And I did actually pick the one up in cap just in case, but by the time I got to actually routing my way through it, I was like, I don't know where the rest of them are, so I could probably do 4, but I don't know about 6.
Right, makes sense.
And I think we have Ekwon in here now as well, just coming in after failing that attempt to unlock this, the Moon Cube in Cap Kingdom. Sorry to be seeing that. And I'm also sorry that you had lost this one. What do you think actually ended up going wrong for you?
At the start of this bingo, I was like so confused. Like in Cap, I didn't get the life apart, and in Cascade, I didn't get the life apart, so I had to like do a lot of stuff in Sand that I shouldn't have had to do, and I got a bunch of like slow stuff because of not thinking at the start of the game. So I think what I should have done is like to sort of taken it slower and actually thought about what I was doing, and I could have not had to revisit like 4 kingdoms.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
difficult to pick up everything on your first pass through. There's just so much to keep track of.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright. Well, any other thoughts from the runners?
I think that was a pretty well done match. I'm really excited about bingo, and I look forward to the next one.
Right, I just actually now thinking of something. Just going into like required knowledge of this. I did see. I'm remembering now that Ekwon, you actually did at one point struggle figuring out the Sphinx questions.
Yeah, I was thinking because I did it once in like an AUM and I couldn't remember what they were, and I managed to get them right though, so we're good.
Definitely, yeah. Very, very nice recollection there.
Yeah, that was just like after the 5th question, I was praying that his big letters were gonna start shaking.
Very nicely done. All right, so with that, Dangers will be moving on to face Lil Aggie in round 2. And to look forward to tomorrow, we have some events from the World Peace Tournament still going on. We've got Omni versus Lil Curbs at 3 p.m. Eastern, and Rhea versus Stravos at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Indeed,
So-
I'll actually be there commentating for those. So
Excellent.
definitely
So
tune in.
yeah, definitely be sure to tune into that. Plenty more Odyssey content coming your way. Bingo tournament, World Peace Tournament coming to a conclusion soon. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, so there's still stuff going on and other speedrun stuff going on other speedrun channels. The Celeste tournament has been starting up, and I am commenting that stuff too because I just love commentating. Can't get enough of it. Can go to all the games. But yeah, so you can go watch Celeste stuff too if you want, or Super Mario Brothers 1. Of course, you got the Super Mario 64 going on as well. Bunch of
Yep.
stuff.
Definitely. So follow those GSA channels. Stay tuned for future events. And yeah, thank you all for watching.